Putin's special operation in the Ukraine went wrong from the beginning. Five Eyes intelligence identified the fact that it was about to happen in great detail, and very unusually, we actually promulgated that fact. That was quite a blow to Putin and his team. We know that from our own intelligence of what an impact that had. And of course, the Ukrainians resisted, and the breathtaking incompetence of the Russian military, I have to say, after many years sitting watching the army intelligence work out what the real threat the Russian army was, one did have a slight wonder when they did so badly in that invasion. But all of that is history. The invasion of a nation-state that Putin had categorically admitted was such, that it was a nation-state, and that he had recognized as such, showed him, I think, for what it had become. It was clear from his statements and writings that he believed Russia should have the same borders as the old Soviet Union, controlling vassal states within those borders. He went as far, actually, as to claim that Ukraine posed an existential threat to Russia. The war's now been going on for 3.5 years, as many speakers have mentioned, and all of us, I think, I reinforce what my noble friend, the Minister, and others have said. We must all, I think, admire the bravery, steadfastness and sacrifice of the Ukrainian people. It's quite incredible what they've been through, and there's nothing like having people shooting at you and having people around you dying to make you realise how appalling that can be. And when it's civilians, it's incredibly impressive. There's no doubt that our front line, and this has been mentioned before, is actually in Ukraine, because already there's a grey zone war with Putin. I'll come back to it in a little bit. If Putin is successful in forcing Ukraine to defeat and surrender, he will be emboldened, and he'll invade his next victim, be it Transnistria, South Ossetia, Moldova, or maybe even the Kaliningrad corridor. So we've got to really stop him now. My lords, there's no doubt the Russian military are more competent than they were in the early days, and they are doing better on the front line than they were in those days, and they have drone attacks which are putting Ukrainian forces under immense pressure, and a number of speakers have talked about the huge pressure on Ukraine, which is really quite, well, it is actually extremely worrying. But the Russians are suffering massive casualties, and there's no doubt that it's been Western support of weapons and other support that allows Ukraine to continue to fight. The Russian economy is weathering the storm better than we predicted, not least because of the huge Chinese financial and other support they're giving. And they've also been helped by countries like India, much to my surprise. We've done a lot to help them, Iran, and troops from North Korea. My lords, Putin told Xi Jinping about his special operation before he launched it, saying that it would be over in 3 weeks. This has fully confirmed the Chinese views of the unpredictable risk of wars, and they were very unimpressed by the fact of how it's gone. But at present, the support of Putin suits Xi, as he wishes the established world order, as was mentioned by the noble Lord Robertson, to be toppled. But he has no love for Putin, and I have to say I think Putin needs to look carefully because he is supping with the devil in dealing so closely with him. The recent Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit, held in Shenzhen, should be a wake-up call for the US and ourselves. I found that quite horrifying that was happening. Basically, they're showing that the world order that we established with the Americans at the end of the Second World War, which actually has given huge security to the globe, has actually increased the wealth of many parts of the world, is something they want to dismantle and they want to change it. And this meeting really showed that. And the fact this world order is under threat is something that stems through from the Ukraine war and is very, very worrying. It all adds up the importance of thwarting Putin in Ukraine. I think our primary object must be to keep Ukraine in the war until the damage to Putin financially and militarily makes him recognise he must reach a peace accord. What exactly that comprises, how it's implemented, and European involvement, I think is downstream work to that primary purpose. What is needed now is commitment to major arms supplies and long-range, in-depth weapons, the imposition of secondary sanctions which will make China and India stop giving their support, and the use of the frozen assets in Belgium to purchase Ukrainian arms, help reconstruction. The important message to Putin, I think, also is delivered through NATO increasing defence spending. Putin is a dangerous maverick. It's extraordinary he's already conducting a war in the grey zone. There have been 2 WMD attacks in Britain. His lackeys are constantly attacking our cyber networks. They're conducting online work to destabilise our society. He's facilitated kinetic attacks on our CNI. He's threatening to carry out attacks on our underwater cables. He's regularly penetrating NATO airspace. My Lords, we must succeed in thwarting Putin's illegal and appalling attack on Ukraine, or events could gain a momentum of their own, leading, I believe, to a major world war.